everyone, thanks for tuning into episode 5, House of Alex. Thank you for continuously coming back and seeing what my videos are about, seeing what I have to say, and kind of seeing what I've been up to with my art journey and everything that's entailing. Life's gotten very hectic and I am in the next phase or next cycle of my life, and that is pretty much just focusing and creating and building up the business and the career that I want as an artist. And with that has come with a lot of mental and emotional challenges. However, those roadblocks have really taught me and pushed me to discover new things and focus on what I actually want, and trying to minimize how much time I spend in those emotional or mental games or challenges, just pushing myself outside of my comfort zone constantly and learning new things and knowing that everything that entails is okay. It's been a bit of a roller coaster, but at the end of the day, I'm doing this for my future, my career as an artist, and also my soul's purpose, my soul's journey of being on earth. I wanted to provide an update of what I'm currently working on, things that I've kind of discovered, and trying not to get overwhelmed with too much. Currently working on my website where I can start selling my art prints online and having a place for people to actually check out my work and see what I'm about, rather than it just being from Instagram, because I want to look more professional. I want to let other people know and also myself know that I do take this seriously, and it is something that I take seriously. It's a good constant reminder that, I don't know, I think by having a website, it means business. Sounds a bit silly, but I think that kind of, to me, it has or resonates in some way. So I'm currently working my website. I am technically the SEO master, the coding and data master, the artiste, and thankfully enough I have a PA volunteer, which is my husband, so thank you again. I have to say, I've tried to do SEO basics or just SEO in the past, and it is just not gone my way. I'm always getting really uncomfortable because I don't understand what I'm looking at, or I'm trying so hard to understand what is right in front of me, and without having the right tools or someone writing it in a way that makes sense to me, I'm constantly getting frustrated and I put it to the side and I start procrastinating. Thankfully though, this time round, my website is run by Wix, so I have actually found that Wix's website in general, their blog and all of their learning materials, has really been helpful to me to actually understand SEOs in, I wouldn't say basic terms, but definitely maybe one step up from basic. I understand all of the little elements that come into play with that. So I've been learning about SEOs and how that works, and then also kind of going on, it's kind of going deeper into the rabbit hole, but in a good way, of you seeing something on a blog article that doesn't really make sense to you, so you click on the link there and it takes you to another page where it gives you information on that, so then you're kind of broadening your knowledge on something that you thought was very basic, then just turns into something so big. So I've been finding that Wix's blog and articles are very helpful in terms of me understanding SEOs this time around. If I think back to the process, it is more you start something, you get really uncomfortable, and there's all those mental and emotional challenges that come with learning something new. And I found that the timing wasn't right for me in that moment, learning the SEOs back, I think maybe a couple of months ago. But right now it is, because I've been exposed to it more. I think I've not so much focused on it so intensely, but I've definitely, heard about it a bit more often, seen it in play, kind of understand it in a, kind of whole spectrum, whole full circle kind of, aspect to it. I've been finding it's been easier to grasp this time around than it was last, which is, you know, it's always fun. I am planning to get my website hopefully up and running by, I would say mid to end of July, because I really want to get it up after the financial year, starting something new, starting something fresh, and just really starting this new financial year off quite strong. By putting in all this time and all this work and all this effort into it, this is going to eventually pay off. And whether it is straight away, which I don't think that it would, I have no expectations of the timing of it. But I do know that all of the hard work that I put into creating my website, and all the love that I put into creating my website, it will be felt, I guess, by the people who come. And I think in general, in terms of the content that I'm creating, taking feedback from my photography class last semester, my teacher was really emphasizing the changes or the understanding of light and manipulation of light, and how I've been trying to incorporate it or understand it a bit better in my photos. So I'm kind of bringing that element into my videos as well. So although I don't necessarily have a style of how my videos run, I'm definitely very cautious, or I guess a bit more particular, in the type of footage that I'm creating. And also what comes with that is learning how to actually edit the videos on Premiere Pro. That's been another thing that there's just so many learnings, so many things that I'm currently learning, and I don't even realize how much I'm learning until I take a step back and actually reflect on it. So I've got the SEO basics, and then understanding how to edit my videos properly, making sure that the color grading in my footage is well managed and is consistent, and it kind of gives that little artistic flair to it. You know, it's not just the stock standard actual raw footage that you get from the camera. It's that and then a little bit more. So that's been fun to learn about. Another thing also I've been learning about is like content creation on Instagram, and how to be able to provide more value to my viewers, and, you know, kind of get a feel for that, and it just kind of all coming together. SEO basics, content creation for Instagram, and then, you know, focusing on the little finer details in terms of creating the footage for you. So I hope you can all appreciate and see. You probably can't see the amount of work that I'm putting into it, but if I tell you, then it kind of makes me feel a little bit better. You kind of know what I'm kind of getting at. In that regard, that's all really I've been focusing on. I really actually need to start creating a body of work, so if people want to actually see my work, instead of having to go on Instagram, they can maybe or potentially go on my website and see what other work I have other than things that I'm like kind of creating just here and there for fun. In terms of my first semester at uni, there's a couple of takeaways in terms of creating art, and the main thing that I think will adopt as an artist is the whole concept of creating different compositions before actually going into my final product, because I find most of the time I'll just get one piece of paper or whatever the surface is that I'm working on, and I'll just start and I'll just do it without any preparation, any planning, not knowing what medium I want to use, and then, you know, starting it, not liking it, and then changing it midway through. Whilst if I actually know what I want to draw and the positioning of the paper and the actual composition of the object or the subject that I'm trying to capture, it's going to be better planned. It's going to actually have more meaning to it. So I guess what I'm trying to say is there's steps to creation. Finding the subject and the object, whatever it is that you want to be creating, seeing how that will play out differently in different types of sketches, so you can have a visual art diary. That's why a lot of artists have visual art diaries. They have an idea, it goes into their visual diary, and then they can come back to it later and be like, you know what, I like that, or you know what, not really a fan of that. That's the kind of route that I want to take, is being a bit more prepared with what I actually want to create. I know for myself I do definitely need to have a bit more preparation than actually just going in and probably stuffing it up. Because I find that most of the time when I have an extensive surface, I get this like fear or this just, it's anxiety, I don't know what it is inside of me that's like, oh, I can't stuff this up, and then I don't want to do anything, and then because I'm so in my head when I'm starting, I don't like it, it's just, and then inside myself I'm like, I've stuffed this up. So it's kind of like, if I'm a bit more prepared in what I'm doing, then I guess that will be a bit more helpful and a bit more meaningful. Something that I've really thought about over the last couple of days is that, you know, because we live in this instant gratification society, sometimes it's so easy to get lost in the idea that things are just going to happen overnight, like you're going to get viral or whatever, and that success, overnight success, is 10 years in the making. And I heard that somewhere a couple of weeks ago, and I thought, wow, that resonates quite a bit. So success, overnight success, is 10 years in the making, and I fully believe that, because what you don't learn and discover now, you'll never be able to actually learn and discover in the future. So it's always about, so if you just get handed something, it's very different than actually doing the work yourself, and that goes for everything in life. So once again, I want to thank you all for tuning in to this episode. Thank you for constantly taking time out of your day to watch me on my journey, my artist journey, and showcase kind of what I'm up to, how I'm going, my thought process, and all of that. And I hope you find that these videos are valuable. If there is anything or any feedback that you want to provide for me on these videos, or any content that you want to see in the future, please write a comment below and I'll be sure to read that. And if you like the content that you're seeing, it's always good to give the video a thumbs up. That does help my channel grow, and also somewhat do something to the YouTube's algorithm, maybe, potentially. And if you wanted to see more content on a regular basis, or just want to come to my channel spontaneously, click that subscribe button. I'll be starting to post more art related content in the coming weeks, months, years. So It's going to be a bit of a journey. We're going to create art together. I'm going to show you the process of my art creation. I'm going to provide a bit more value to being able to create art in general, and take you on the journey of your own art journey, I guess. So thank you all again for tuning in to today's episode. I'll see you in episode 6. Ciao.